Ask any county sheriff in the state. Most will say there's a crisis in their jails. Thousands of convicted criminals who are supposed to be in state prison waiting in the local lockup for a bed to open.
The problem predates the Huckabee-Sanders administration, but the passage of the Protect Arkansas Act is about to reshape the situation. And THV 11's Rolly Hoyt looks at the statewide race to find more prison space.
We have 2,000 inmates backed up in county jails. We need capacity.
4 months into the job of running the Arkansas Department of Corrections, Secretary Joe Porfiry has had to dig in right away. Prisons are full, jails are full, and his boss, Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders, wants violent criminals locked up for longer periods.
We've been in need for a very long time, and we've engaged in alternative bed strategies to mitigate that population growth, when in fact what we need to do is add capacity so we can keep those offenders in prison that need to be in prison.
This event in April marked the first chance to add capacity, a groundbreaking for an expansion of a former juvenile facility in Batesville. When done, there will be a place to put up to 300 low-level criminals, parole and probation violators, without taking up bed space in local jails or more secure facilities. But that's a fraction of how much more space is needed.
I think we're on parallel tracks associated with programming and rehabilitation, as well as increasing capacity, because we've needed capacity for 20 years.
These are all the Department of Corrections facilities in Arkansas, from small work release centers to the Varner Supermax, home of the state's death row. There's a concentration in Jefferson and Lincoln counties, where the DOC is the second biggest employer. Secretary Porfiry told us that plans to expand the North Arkansas unit in Calico Rock are on hold. The Hutchison administration wanted to bring system capacity up by 2,400 up there, but Governor Sanders wants other, bigger options. We're talking possibly 3,000 beds, about double the size of the biggest prisons we have now. The legislature has set aside about $500 million to build all that bed space. That has some communities wide-eyed, hoping to become that site.
I can tell you right off the bat is employment. I mean, jobs.
Fordyce Mayor John McNichol threw his city's hat in the ring when the DOC asked for land donations last year. They offered about 10 acres for a small facility near the county jail. Now, with everyone thinking bigger, he says, bring it on.
Definitely, I would entertain it. I've got some friends that has land. We got land. Yes, several people approached me about a bigger jail.
But Fordyce won't be the only ones in the running. Hempstead and Nevada counties offered up the biggest plot, roughly between Prescott and Hope, but envisioned only 1,000 beds, only a third of what the governor wants. Leaders there, like State Representative Danny Watson, recognize it complicates their proposal.
It will be challenging, but I think it would be challenging anywhere in Arkansas, to be honest with you. Everybody's always concerned about a labor force, but I hear it from my colleagues in all 75 counties. They're having the same concerns.
Officials in northern Arkansas never made an offer, but they plan to make sure options at Calico Rock are still on the table. All across the map, the prisons represent a huge replacement for industries that left town.
When Georgia Pacific was here, it devastated the town. I mean, people had to get out and find jobs. It really made our town go down. It takes a while to get 400 jobs back in here, and you got to do it by getting out, reaching out, and trying to bring things in here.
Republican lawmakers overwhelmingly back the parole and prison reform plans called the Protect Arkansas Act. It focuses on keeping convicted violent offenders locked up for 100 or 85% of their sentence, meaning the demand on prison beds won't go down anytime soon. Critics of the new law argue that it's based on a flawed premise.
Incarceration of people is just a short-term fix. It's not a long-term fix.
Little Rock State Senator Frederick Love says solutions come if we invest that money upstream from the mouth of the prison pipeline.
And if we took almost $500 million and put it into programs like summer programs, after-school programs, also recruiting companies to come in. I mean, that's the comprehensive approach that I'm talking about.
But supporters of the new law say it does offer interim solutions. Co-sponsor State Senator Ben Gilmore points to programs designed to rehabilitate inmates and enhanced education opportunities.
I think addressing prison capacity is a long-term solution for an immediate crisis that we're dealing with, but make no mistake, there's a lot of other functions in the Protect Arkansas Act that will help alleviate and address crime right now.
Secretary Porphyry says he's eager to develop better case management plans for every inmate. He wants programs that make sentences, in his words, time well spent. But he's focused for now on preparing for housing the increasing number of people spending time behind bars.
I don't necessarily see the construction of prisons and the building of beds and adding capacity as a problem. I see it a solution to safer communities, and ultimately that's government's responsibility, is to provide safer communities.
In Batesville, Rolly Hoyt, THV 11 News.